Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
I have spent most of my life uncovering lies. For 22 years, deception has been my profession. I expose hidden transactions, trace missing money, and dismantle carefully constructed illusions. Numbers rarely lie. People always do. But nothing in my career prepared me for the morning my reality split in two. Is your wife home? My brother Ryan's voice sounded wrong. Tight, compressed, like he was speaking through clenched teeth at 30,000 feet. I was standing in our kitchen in Brookfield Heights, Colorado, watching my wife through the wide archway leading into the dining room. Elise stood barefoot at the counter, wearing the beige sweater I had given her last winter. Morning light spilled across her auburn hair as she carefully sliced peaches onto a porcelain plate. "Yes," I said slowly. "She's here." A long silence followed. Then Ryan whispered, "That's impossible." My fingers tightened around the marble countertop. "She just boarded my flight," he said quietly. "Denver to Boston, gate C7, seat 3A, and she's holding hands with another man." Behind me, the refrigerator hummed steadily. In front of me, my wife rinsed the knife, placed it neatly in the drying rack, then turned toward me and smiled, silently asking if I wanted coffee. "I am looking at her right now," Ryan insisted. For the first time in my life, I didn't know which reality I was standing in. "My name is Marcus Reed. I am 52 years old, a forensic investigator. My work revolves around discrepancies, small irregularities that expose larger truths. I have always trusted evidence over emotion. Until that morning." "Ryan," I said carefully, keeping my eyes on my wife, "are you certain?" "The navy coat," he replied immediately. "Hair tied back. That brown leather bag she carries everywhere. She's laughing at something the guy next to her said. His hand is on her knee." Elise reached for two mugs, my plain white one and hers printed with "Stay Kind." Every movement was effortless, familiar, unquestionable. "Send me a picture," I said. "You know I shouldn't." "Try." Before he could respond, Elise walked toward me and handed me my coffee. "Who's calling so early?" she asked gently. "My brother," I answered. "Pre-flight nerves." She smiled warmly. "Tell him to fly safe." Her fingers brushed my arm as she passed. Warm, solid, real. My phone vibrated. The photograph was slightly blurred, taken from behind a cockpit door. But I recognized the woman instantly. The tilt of her head, the line of her jaw, the small crescent scar near her left eyebrow. She leaned toward a dark-haired man in a blazer, his hand resting intimately on her leg. She was laughing. It was Elise. Or someone wearing her face perfectly. I retreated to my study and closed the door. My mind did what it always did under pressure. It built columns. Column A, Elise in my kitchen, observable, tangible. Column B, Elise on a plane, photographic evidence, independent witness. Two realities could not coexist, unless something was wrong. I enlarged the image. Her wedding ring appeared identical, but my wife had hers resized months earlier with a platinum lining inside. The ring in the photograph lacked that detail. An anomaly. Anomalies demand verification. A text arrived from an unknown number. "Check your front door camera." A cold sensation slid down my spine. I opened the security feed. The playback showed Elise leaving our house 40 minutes earlier. Navy coat, leather bag, hair tied back. She closed the door softly behind her. Timestamp, 6:48 a.m. Behind me, in the hallway, my wife hummed softly while preparing breakfast. For the first time in my career, evidence contradicted itself. Years of investigating fraud teach you something unsettling. The truth rarely shatters. It shifts quietly, like a painting that has hung straight for years until one morning you notice it slightly tilted. Elise followed me back into the kitchen. The peaches were arranged perfectly. The tea steeped to her preferred shade. She adjusted the blinds to reduce glare exactly as she always did. If this was a performance, it was flawless. "Did Ryan calm down?" she asked casually. "He will," I said, studying her reflection in the stainless steel refrigerator. She smiled, but the expression stopped short of her eyes. A small detail, not dramatic, but enough. I observed her carefully, posture relaxed, breathing steady, hands without tremor. Her wedding ring showed the platinum lining. Correct. Yet, something remained wrong. "Do you still want dinner with the Hawthorns tonight?" she asked. The Hawthorns had moved overseas 6 months earlier. I answered gently, "They live in London now." A flicker crossed her face, brief, controlled. Then she laughed. "Of course. I'm mixing people up. Long week." My wife never mixed people up. Another anomaly. When she left the room, I examined our financial records. Elaborate deceptions always leave traces. 3 weeks earlier, a hotel charge appeared near the airport. That same weekend, she had claimed to be at a charity retreat in another city. Then came late-night restaurant bills, rideshare charges near midnight, a second hotel, individually harmless, collectively a pattern. Someone had been repositioning assets quietly, preparing an exit. That evening, I needed certainty, not suspicion. Proof. When she emerged from the shower, hair damp, I spoke casually. "We should make shrimp tonight." She froze for half a second. Then she laughed. "I'm not in the mood for shrimp." A simple answer. Too simple. My wife had a shellfish allergy. Mild, but enough that she mentioned it constantly. She never failed to remind anyone. This woman said nothing. In that moment, doubt became knowledge. 3 days later, police discovered a car submerged in a reservoir 40 miles outside the city. Inside was a body. Dental records confirmed the identity. Elise Reed. Time of death estimated 4 months earlier. The woman who had lived beside me vanished the night before the discovery. No forced entry, no trace, no explanation, only absence. Investigators concluded I had been the victim of an elaborate identity fraud. A replacement engineered to access finances, establish legal claims, and disappear before detection. A perfect impersonation, a perfect crime. But they overlooked one detail. I never reported the anomalies immediately. I observed. I waited. I learned. Because the truth revealed itself slowly. The unknown number that sent me the message. The subtle inconsistencies. The deliberate mistakes only I would notice. They were not errors. They were signals. An invitation. Weeks after her disappearance, a secure message reached my encrypted account. A location. A time. No explanation. I went. She was waiting. The woman who had replaced my wife stood across the room, calm, composed, no longer pretending. "You knew," she said. "Yes." She explained everything without emotion. Elise had discovered financial irregularities connected to powerful people. She had become a liability. The replacement had been necessary to extract assets, erase evidence, and maintain stability. A solution, a correction. "You could expose us," she said quietly. "I could," I agreed. She studied me carefully. "But you won't." She was right. Because I had spent my entire life studying deception, and I understood something most people never do. Truth is not justice. Truth is leverage. I returned home alone that night. The world believed my wife had died in an accident. Authorities closed the case. Accounts were settled. Life resumed. Sometimes, late at night, I replay the security footage of the woman who looked exactly like my wife leaving my house at dawn. She pauses before stepping off the porch. For a single frame, she turns toward the camera, smiling, not like Elise, like someone who knew the plan had worked. And every time I watch it, I realize the same thing. I was never the victim. I was the final witness, and I chose silence.